Hello everyone, it's Natasha from Treasure Box. In this video, we are turning this into this, and this, and this, and this, So I think this will be a fun and inspiring video. All you need is some cereal bags or plastic bags, some paper, some lace, and maybe some other fun stuff like sequins and punched out shapes and things like that. All right, let's get started. Okay, I have a cereal bag that's already been washed, scrapbook paper, and some of this lace or curtain, whatever it was. First thing I'm going to do is trim my scrapbook paper down to size. So because this is 12 by 12, that's probably too large for a journal. I'm going to trim it there somewhere. I'm not even going to measure anything. I'm just going to go with what feels right. And here we go. So that will be the size of my journal. And now I want to position that piece of paper. I know you can't really see well because it's kind of blending in with my desk, but I want to sandwich it in between two layers of this lace curtain. So something like that. Trim that off. And I'm doing that simply because I want to have the lace on both sides. So now I'm thinking this is going to move a little bit. So maybe I can just temporarily glue it down. But before I do that, I'm wondering if it's worth my time to pop some sequins in there. Let's see. I don't know. Might have a nice effect. Worth giving it a try. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe a little bit of this. I'm not sure. Might be a total fail. Might actually look really nice when it's done. The only issue is that's all going to move around. So what I'll do is I'll just put some glue stick on first and repeat the process. I'm just going to experiment today. We should have done this side first, but that's all right. I'll know exactly what to do for next journal that I make or journal cover that I make in this way. But for now, experimentation only. All right, pop that down. And now I'm gonna do this again. Maybe best not to have these sequins where the cover will be folded in half. So I'll just kind of leave that middle section empty. Let's see, is this even gonna work? Now I'm imagining in my mind how it's gonna glue down perfectly well and it's gonna be nice and straight, but that's not happening at all. Plus there's a little bit warping going on, like none of these things were in my mind when I was imagining how this is gonna go. Okay, now let's sandwich this in between two layers of cereal bag. Trim that down a bit. And here we go. This could actually be laminated too, this type of thing, and I think that would look really cool. But I'm really adamant to use cereal bags today because I love working with cereal bags because they crinkly and they just, I'm not sure why actually, I just love the sound of them, I suppose. We could go and add more stuff like images and appliques and all sorts of stuff, but I'm experimenting here, so I'm just leaving it simple. What I'm going to do now is go to my sewing machine and I'm just going to sew all around. I'm using my sewing machine. This is an Elna sewing machine. Nothing special, nothing fancy. Using a universal needle, and I use my sewing machine for everything, so I don't need to have special equipment or special needles or anything like that. I'm just sewing all the way around. Okay, here we go. I went around at once and all sorts of things have happened. There's too much cereal bag, I didn't hold it down properly, there's a fold here, and it's just the way it is at the moment. So now I'm thinking I'm going to trim all of the excess off and then I'll decide what to do next. And I'm going to use my zigzag scissors or my pinking shears and just go all the way around. And here's what I have, and I believe you can see the appeal of this project. It's almost like a little pillow, And because it's got all this space in there, it actually feels, I don't know how to explain it, almost feels like a padded envelope. That's what this feels like. All right, let's see what's happening over here. If I fold this in half, that's my journal cover. Ooh, I really love how that looks. Just thinking if I need to actually do anything more to it, because what I could do is go around. That was my plan, but now I'm thinking I'm going to change my plan. I was going to sew all over this, maybe do circles like this, maybe do like wiggly lines like this all over, just to hold everything in place. But I'm actually thinking that I really love the way this looks, and I kind of like that there's all this movement happening. So I think I'm actually going to leave it as it is. And because it was so quick and easy to make, I'm going to make another one. And this time I'm going to go with this black scrapbook paper, and on the other side it looks like this. It's still going to look nice on the inside, and I'm definitely sticking with the sequins, the little hearts and these sequins. So off I go. All right, paper is cut down. Now that I know what I'm doing, I'm going to pop my fabric down first. That's going to be like that, and I'm going to apply glue on this side first. That's going to be my inside. It seems to be working quite well, this glue stick. And pop that down. This is going to be the front cover, and I'm really loving the look of these hearts. This is not sequin. I'm not sure what they're called. They're like confetti. That's what that is. I got that from an op shop. It was in a bag along with other things. I probably would never actually buy this on its own if I saw it in a shop, but after doing this, I probably would actually. I wonder if I should add these. Maybe I should stick with the gold. I'm going a bit crazy here now. So now I'm just again trying to move them from that approximate middle where my journal is going to fold. Not necessary, I don't think, but it's just nicer not to have, especially these large pieces, right there in the middle. And now I need to go hunt for a cereal bag. I don't even know if I have another one. Actually, I do know that I have one, I just don't know where. All right, got my cereal bag. Get rid of excess lace. Maybe I should do a little ruffle at the front. All right, now cereal bag. I'll turn the really shiny side in. There's a shiny side and kind of a matte side. There's barely any difference, but I'm turning the shinier side in. And this time around, what I'll do is somehow try to keep this nice and flat as it's going through my sewing machine, so that I don't have folded bits of cereal bag, I suppose. But I don't know how I'm going to do that. Maybe I can use paper clips. Let's see. All right, that looks like it's going to work, and I'm not sure that it's entirely necessary, but it's definitely not going to hurt. So now what I'm going to do is just take it to my sewing machine, and here it is. I did a bit of a zigzag stitch, and you can see up close how cool this looks. Look at this. I just love everything about this. And this is the inside, and now I need to trim off the excess. Here we go. That just looks so beautiful. Look at that. And it's got the sound. Look. Oh, it can be a little clutch. Should I make this into a clutch? I think I'm going to. In which case I should have sewn this. Oh, this is gonna have to be a clutch. Oh yes. I think over time the sequins are probably going to start to move around, in which case it's just gonna be a different kind of effect. They're gonna be moving around. Another thing I can do is, instead of making it a clutch and kind of sewing it here on the sides, I could make it a wraparound journal. So it's this type of a thing. So I would sew in my signature over here, and perhaps I can add a closure here. The only thing I'm not loving is the space. I don't know if you can see that there, how, I don't know how to explain it, but like you can see that the fabric is in there, and then this plastic bag is quite tight, pulled tight over the top. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but in any case, I'm gonna go with this because I think it looks absolutely fabulous. Look at that. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I have a bag of stuff here, and I'm just diving in. I saw this. I think that will be a cool closure, but I think this is more for like boxes and things like that. So how does it go? Like this. and like this. That's definitely more for boxes, I think. I also have this. These are all things that I find, random things I find in op shops and stuff. I don't even know how they would. I see. Okay, that's not gonna work. I took this off of an old bag. I think it's a bit too heavy for this kind of thing, way too big. What do we think? Oh, how cool does that look? A closing mechanism. Took it right off of an old bag, and I can totally make it work for this project. Let's see, that would go there, that would go there, and that's how it would work. What do you think? Should I do that? Otherwise, I can do a really simple closure with just some beautiful lace all around. Maybe some type of a ribbon like this. I could use perhaps a brad, maybe not this one, but you know, a brad like this to hold that in place, and then wrap this around. That would actually look quite nice too. If I'm using this brad, and then wrap this around, and then pop that through, and that's how it would look. That looks actually quite nice as well. So I do have some options, but I'm thinking what would be the most, you know, and I've had this for way too long. I've never used it. I don't know what else I'm going to use it for, so I'm thinking I might go with this one. I'm starting to think I won't be able to make this work because these have to go through here, and then I have to close them on the inside. I'm just gonna have to try and make it work. Otherwise I can use a wire. I got one through, I got a brad through. Now I just have to find a way of closing it. And now let's see if I can do the other one. I'm definitely choosing the harder way of doing things, but I think sometimes I get fixated on an idea and then I just have to do it. So I suppose the point is that you don't need to know how to do a thing before you do it. You have all these little bits and pieces around your house that you know you can use somehow, but you don't know how or when. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I think I'm trying to say just play around and try new things and see where they take you. All right. Oh, I'm quite proud of that. Look at that. It's very heavy. Probably too fancy for this project. Could have saved it for something a bit more substantial, you know, but I've had it in my stash for a while and it just seems like it's a perfect thing to use for this project. So I'm just gonna go with it. I'm not gonna be precious with things anymore. I tend to hold on to things waiting for that perfect project, and I always think, no, it's too good for this. I think this is perfect. So now this, I have to make sure that it's aligned. So now this is going to take a little bit more brain power. And I'm kind of going to see where it needs to sit. I'll mark with my pen. You know, if I mess this up, it's going to be a bit of a disaster. In which case, if I do mess this up, I'm going to have to find a way to cover this, which should be okay. I can just sew a piece of, what have I got on my desk? I know I have a beautiful piece of something on my desk. Here we go. Look at this. If this doesn't work, something else will. Just making a little slit through the layers, all of the 3 layers that I have here. And now this has to go through. Oh, that went through beautifully. And now I'm gonna see if this is gonna work before I do anything else. Yeah, that's gonna look good. It actually worked. And now close this down like that, just like little brads. If you've seen my, well, if you haven't seen my frequently asked, 10 free things to use in junk journals video, I talk about this kind of stuff and all sorts of stuff, or 10 different categories of things that you could be saving to be using in your junk journal. So if you haven't seen that video, have a look at it. And you save things like this, and then when the time comes, you have them available. Here we go. What do you think of that? Should this be like a clutch, a purse, or a journal? Should I make it into a journal? The issue with the journal part is this. See what I mean? It's in the way. So that can be kind of moved down, but it's a little bit difficult when it's not going through this. Once it goes through this, perfect, easy. But when it's open, it's a little bit hard. Wish I could make this into a journal rather than a clutch, to be honest. I know exactly what I'll do. And here's what I did. I made another cover, and pretty much exactly the same way. Unfortunately, I ran out of this lace, so I just used a different type of lace inside. No big deal. So next thing I did is prepared some pages for my signature. Next thing I'm going to do is use all these little offcuts, maybe not all, some of these offcuts on the edges of the pages of the signature. And here we go, just enough close. So I just did some ruffled little edges there with the leftover lace, and it just gives it a nice looking side when you're looking at the journal from side on. So I'm not sure if I mentioned where I'm going with this. Basically, as you worked out, we are making a journal that fits perfectly inside the clutch. So I haven't decided yet if I want to sew the clutch closed. I did leave enough space, so I can go either way. I don't know if I'm gonna sew that closed or pretend that this is just a removable cover. I can just call this a removable cover rather than a clutch, right? So for this journal, I have quite a lot of pages that flip out all the way like this, and little things like this. I did just sew an extra piece, and then a page here that flips out. So because it's quite narrow, I wanted to create lots of writing space. Next thing I'm going to do is bind the signature into the cover. I want a layered look, so I'm just making it how I want it before I start binding. Okay, I'm just going to use a black thread to bind. Now I'm going to make 3 holes. I'm doing a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, so one there, one down the bottom, and one up the top. And start binding, starting in the middle, then through the top hole. The light is doing a very strange thing because the sun keeps coming in and out, so I apologize about that. I don't know if I'm gonna have enough thread. I just want to use every last piece of everything, and then I create more work for myself. Should have just used a longer piece of thread. It's not as if there's a thread shortage in the world. And then we go back inside and done. That's looking quite good. Okay, now tie a knot. All right, perfect. That's the little journal done. I'll just quickly show you inside. Obviously, it's non-embellished. There's just a few little things. Ruffles. There's a coloring page. Now this one opens up. This is avocado dyed. This is Marilyn Monroe image. This one also open up, can be a pocket. Here's a little ruffle. That's that leftover piece of lace, some type of a lace. Curtain, I don't know. Middle signature, middle page. Then this one opens up this way. I love this, the pages that flip out, up and out and down and all that sort of stuff. And there we have it. That's the end of the signature. Voila, beautiful. Okay, now I want to do a closure. So I had this out before. I think I'm gonna do something with this and the brad. Let's have a look here. What do we have? These I have been hoarding for a while, and I think even though it doesn't really go with the theme, there is no theme but hearts and lace, and then we've got this kind of a thing, so I don't know, but I think it's gonna look good. So if I do something like this, maybe 2 of them, maybe even 3. I think I'm just gonna do 3 brads, cinch the end of that ribbon there. So my plan is the following. Usually, we have a closure attached, which is something that I also could do. I could have a closure here, tie a ribbon, but I'm thinking of doing it differently. I'm thinking of attaching it like this there with the brads, and then it wraps around once or even twice, and then threads through there, perhaps a bead that at the end. So that's my plan, and I'm just gonna start off with applying the brads. So that goes through there. Literally business this is. All right, so that's attached there, and then that goes through here, and that looks good. I love how that looks. The feet will be visible on the inside, and I'm just going to apply the next 2. Okay, and here is the result. And now I can either have this wrap around once and then go through, in which case it's not gonna hold this closed. So I decided to wrap around twice, and then it goes through there. So it looks something like this. What do we think? I think I want to add some beads here, hence why the beads are out. And I'm thinking these gold beads, maybe a brown one would look cool. Let's see. I don't even know if I will be able to thread the ribbon through this tiny little bead opening, but I won't know until I give it a go. Yeah, that's not gonna work, unfortunately. Even with the tapered end, it kind of stops there. So I definitely need beads. Look at what happened here. I definitely need beads with a larger opening. I'm not sure if this will work. This works. All right, so I'm gonna do that. What's this one? Yeah, that's gonna work. And another one of those gold ones. I should have left myself a longer piece of ribbon, then it wouldn't matter how much I keep trimming off, but I didn't. So now, let's see, I hope I'll have enough. Barely. Oh, don't have enough to tie a knot. I'm gonna have to try to tie a knot. Okay, you know what I had to do? It's not ideal, but I had to get a new piece of ribbon. So now I will have plenty of space. It just didn't work. There we go. Always better to have more than you think you'll need. I don't know what's happening with me today. I had barely enough to do the binding because I chose to use up a tiny little scrap piece that I had. All right, that's much better. I am going to tie a knot, cut that off, singe the end to stop it from fraying. And that's pretty cool. I'm quite happy with that closure. So now that's gonna go in there. This doesn't matter if it's in the way because there's plenty of place, or space I should say. And it closes and there's a little pouch. I'm just wondering if I should sew the pouch shut. But I really like that it can be opened. So I think I'm gonna leave it and I'm going to call it a removable cover. What do you think of this idea? You know what I'm gonna say. I love it. I love it because it's so unexpected. It took me in an unexpected direction. And I also have this. Look, they look really cool as a little set. I'm gonna make a journal out of this. I also did this one. Kind of experimenting as well with something different. I'm not a huge fan. There's no sequins and stuff like that. It's just cereal bag on top of scrapbook paper, and then I did the sewing. So it's not bad. Another thing we can try is something like this, fabric, just fabric inside a cereal bag, but I'm not sure if that's really, I don't know, we can do fabric on cardstock. What do you think? I really like the lace effect. This kind of mutes the fabric too much. I'm just not sure if I want to try this. I don't think I want to try this. It's just not exciting to me at this very moment. And now I feel like I want to do something with just the lace. Maybe not even put anything underneath. Maybe I can sew this shut. Here's what I do. Cut this in half. Next I'm going to fold this up. Fold the cereal bag over the top and sew that shut. Okay, here's what I did. I think the first one might be a bit of a fail because I should have done the top first, but that gives me an opportunity to clean up my desk because all of this stuff fell everywhere, and pop that in there. I don't know how that's gonna look, but we will soon find out. Maybe do a couple of days. And now I have to sew this shut, so maybe I can move this out of the way somehow. Let's see. Okay, so now that that's done, that's all sewn. Now I have to get rid of this. I know this is probably confusing at the moment, but I think once it's done it's gonna make sense. And now I'm gonna sew, because you see this now needs to be sewn, so I'm just gonna go with my machine just like this. And here we go, just sewn that on. Now I'm gonna cut all around, and here's what we have. I didn't even say what I'm making, but you can work it out. I'm sure you've worked it out now. It's like a little envelope, a little pouch, a little shaker pouch. It was just an idea I followed, and I don't think I'm going to do the other one. I was going to do two, but I think I'll just leave it here at one. Maybe that's going to look... Oh, if this is the perfect size. Look at this. It's a bit smaller, but perfect size. It goes with... Oh, it's like I planned it. It's as if I had planned this whole thing. How am I going to close this? Maybe a little thing like this, little closure. Maybe I can do this. Open this up, pop these through. See? Fits with the theme. Close that back up. And let's see. What do we think? That's not bad. I'm just going to leave it on there for now. Okay, so now I'm going to turn this into a journal. I can't leave something unfinished, even though 80% of my craft room is unfinished projects, but in any case, I'm going to finish this journal today. Okay, so that's signature ready for binding, but I think I'm going to use up all of these little bits and pieces that I have for the edges of the journals. Even this can add texture. I'm not going to use it, but it would be cool to do a ruffle with plastic because of the sound. I know not everyone loves the sound, but a lot of us do, so I'm just going to stick with these for now. Alright, here we go. I have bound the journal, and I'm going to come back later on and embellish it and fill it up with ephemera and stuff like that. Maybe I'll finish this journal off for now with a simple closure, and perhaps if that's going to be a pack, we can do something like this. That looks so beautiful. I'll definitely do something like this, and then this and this, you know. I love today's session, and I think it's a really fun idea, fun concept to just, you know, have a play. I just love when things like this happen, when I try something that I haven't done before and it just works. I just love that, and today definitely worked. Some things didn't work, like, this also worked. This is also pretty cool. I will definitely make this into a journal as well. It can compare with the lace and the sequins. It was perfect. I love this, if I may say so myself. I don't know if that's an okay thing to say, you know, that I love something that I did. In any case, I hope that you feel inspired and that you got some new ideas and that you're thinking of other ways of utilizing this kind of a concept. Let me know of your ideas in the comments down below. Let me know what you think of the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.